Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to study human health and disease. So let's begin. So now let's see what is health. So it can be defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. When people are healthy, they are more effective or more efficient at their work. So the normal health which can be maintained by balanced diet, personal hygiene and regular exercise. Now, health is affected by genetic disorders, so which are inherited defects of the parents to the offspring. For example, if a parent are having diabetes, there are more chances of getting diabetes to their children. Also, infections are the second part of health, how health is affected. Lifestyle including food and water we take. So if we take more fast food, if we drink unhygienic water, we can get ill, our health gets affected. Rest and exercise we give to our body, and habits that we have or lack, etc. So for example, habits like if we have habits like drinking, smoking, which also affects our health. So these are the factors. First factor is genetic factor, infections and the lifestyle which we live. In this COVID epidemic, we came across a word which is known as immunity. So let's see what is immunity. So the ability of the body to protect and fight against any pathogen or foreign body. Like pathogen, it can be bacteria, virus, parasite, etc. is called as immunity. So the immune system defenses our body against any infection. That means our immune system helps to fight against any bacteria, viruses or any other infection. So the study of immunity is called as immunology. So here comes two concepts. One is antigen and other is antibody. So any foreign substance invading body and capable of stimulating an immune system is called as antigen. So for example, if a virus is entering our body, that becomes a foreign body and which is capable of stimulating our immune system, so it becomes an antigen. And what is antibody? It is a protective chemical produced by immune cell in response to antigen. So for example, if the virus or bacteria enters into our body, our immune cells produces a protective chemical that fights against the antigen or virus or bacteria. Okay, so that is known as antibody. So now, for example, this becomes an antigen or a pathogen which can be virus, bacteria, or parasite, and our body in response to this antigen which entered into our body, the body releases, our immune system releases a chemical or a substance which is known as antibody, which fights against this antigen. Now, as we saw, immunity is the ability of the organism to resist infection or to overcome the infection. That means to fight against the infection. So there are of two types. First one is innate, which is also known as non-specific immunity, and second one is acquired, which is also known as specific immunity. Now, innate or non-specific immunity, it is an inborn or natural immunity. That means it is present from birth. Now they are of two types. First one is surface barrier and second one is cellular and biochemical barrier. So now let's see what is surface barrier. So it's a first line of body defense. It includes the external barrier, for example skin, that checks the entry of pathogen into the body. So now let's see, surface barrier are of two types. First one is physical barrier and second one is physiological or chemical barrier. Now, let's see about physical barriers. So, the important physical barriers are skin, hair, and cilia of nasal cavity and mucous lining. So, let's see about skin. The skin prevents entry of pathogens. The sweat produced by the sweat glands and the oil produced by the sebaceous gland are bactericidal and fungicidal properties. That means they have the ability to kill the bacteria and fungus which are present on the skin. Mucous lining. So, as we all know, mucous lining is found in respiratory tract, digestive tract, urinary tract and reproductive tract which secretes mucus. So mucus is a thick fluid-like structure, so which traps the microbes, that means bacteria and virus, and makes them immobilized, that means it prevents its further entry into the deeper organs like lungs, stomach, etc. Moving on to the second type of innate immunity, that is cellular and biochemical barriers. So they form the second line of body defense. This includes phagocytes, natural killer cells, interferons, and inflammatory response. Now what are phagocytes? The process of engulfing and destroying the microbe by some cells is called as phagocytosis. That means the process of eating and destroying the microbe by some cells is known as phagocytosis. The cells that involved in phagocytosis are known as phagocytes. So which cells are involved? Neutrophils and monocytes, which are the type of WBCs, and this forms the important phagocytic cells. Now what are the natural killer cells, which are also known as NK cells? So natural killer cells are non-phagocytic, that means they won't eat it, and they are large lymphocytes. They mainly recognize the viral infected cells and tumor cells. So they recognize them and then they will destroy by secreting cytolysine, and hence they are known as killer cells. So first there will be a bacteria. Now this is an infected cell in which there is a virus. Now this natural killer cell will recognize that cell and then it will release cytolysine, and then it will lead to cell death. Now let's see about interferons. So interferons are antiviral glycoprotein produced by a viral infected animal cell. So if this cell gets infected by the virus, this cell itself will release a glycoprotein which is known as interferon. So what are its function? It has three main function. The first function is to protect the neighboring cell from getting infected through virus. Second is to stimulate the neighboring cell to secrete a protein which will interfere with the viral replication. That means it will stop the replication of virus. And third is to activate macrophages and natural killer cells. Okay, so these are the three functions of interferons. Now let's see about fever. So increase in body temperature is known as fever. It's a natural defense mechanism. So what happens is when the bacteria enters into our body, our cell starts to fight against that bacteria. So whenever there is a fight, there is a raise in temperature. So and this raise in temperature will also destroy the invaded bacteria and viruses. So the temperature increases it increase physiological process to destroy the invaded pathogen. Now what are the active phase proteins? So due to the infection there is sudden rise in proteins like C-reactive protein, mannose binding protein, and serum amyloid proteins. Moving on to the second type of immunity, which is acquired immunity. So the immunity which a person acquires during his lifetime is known as acquired immunity. It is also known as adaptive immunity or specific immunity. So it involves formation of antibodies in the body which neutralizes the antigen. Now there are four unique features. First is specificity, second is diversity, third is discrimination between self and non-self, and fourth is memory. Now, let's see the classification of acquired immunity. So, immunity that develops during the lifetime. So, there are two types. First is active immunity and second is passive immunity. So, what is active immunity? The immunity which develops in response to infection or vaccine. Now, they are divided into two parts, are natural and artificial. So natural is what? The antibodies developed in response to an infection. So whenever you get an infection and your body actively forms antibody, it is known as natural active immunity. And artificial is means what? Antibodies developed in response to a vaccine. So if a vaccine is given to a person and then the antibodies are produced, this is known as active artificial immunity. Now what is passive immunity? So develops after you receive antibodies from someone or somewhere else. For example, there are two types, natural and artificial. So antibody received from the mother, example through breast milk, and antibodies received from a medicine, example a gamma globulin injection or an infusion. So in active immunity, your own body produces antibodies, and in passive immunity you receive antibodies from someone else. Now let's see the whole flowchart of immunity. So there are of two types, innate immunity and acquired. Innate is known as non-specific and acquired is known as specific. Here there is a correction. Okay. Now innate immunity forms first line of defense and second line of defense. So the first line of defense is nothing but physical barrier, that is skin and mucous membrane, and the chemical barriers that are antimicrobial substance in the body fluid such as saliva, mucus, tear, and gastric juices. So what they do, they stop the infection before it enters the body, and hence they are known as first line of defense. Now the second line of defense are cellular defense, which includes phagocytes. So phagocyte cells are neutrophils, macrophages, basophils, and eosinophils. So they causes death of the microorganism. They also includes, besides phagocyte, natural killer cells, interferons, and inflammatory response. Now moving on to the acquired immunity. So this acquired immunity are of two types. First is active and passive, and passive are again divided into two types, which are natural and artificial. So they include the cells which are known as third line of defense, which are lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are of two types, beta cells, B cells, which are humoral immunity, and T cells, which are cell mediated immunity. Now let's see what are these cells. Now let's see the cells of immune system. So there are two types of cells, lymphocytes and antigen presenting cells. Lymphocytes are of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes produces antibodies and T lymphocytes produces various types of cells like T helper cells, T cytotoxic or killer cells. B lymphocyte is also known as humoral or antibody mediated immunity as it produces antibodies and it gets mature in tonsils and Peyer's patches. T lymphocytes are also known as cell mediated immunity and it gets matured in thymus. Now what are antigen presenting cells? So antigen presenting cells engulfs the antigen and they present the antigen on their surface. So this leads to activation of T helper cells. Let's see the mechanism of response of T lymphocyte to antigen. So whenever this antigen presenting cells, which is known as APC, present an antigen on their surface, it leads to activation of T helper cells. Now this leads to further activation of T helper cells. More T helper cells are formed, which activates B cells to produce antibodies. Now this T helper cells also stimulates production of macrophages. It also leads to production of killer T cells, suspensor T cells, and membrane memory cells. Now, what is the function of killer cell is to attack and destroy the invading microbes, infected cells, and cancer cells. So the cancer cell binds infected cells and release perforins and kills the cell. Now, suppressor T cell suppresses the entire immune system to attack against its own body cells. So the own normal functioning body cells get protected and only viruses or bacteria get attacked. What are memory cells? So these are the previously sensitized cells which retain the sensitization memory for a long time in future. So for example, if you get infected once by chickenpox, the antibodies or the cells are produced against the chickenpox virus. So you don't again get infected by the chickenpox again because the memory cell gets activated. Now, let's see the mechanism of B cells. So, for example, if a virus enters into our body, they will release antigen. So, this antigen and along with the helper T cell, they will activate the inactive B cell into an active B cell. Now, this active B cell get transferred into plasma cell and this will release antibodies. Now, what are the function of antibodies? The first is agglutination. That means to form an antigen antibody complex and then this will be engulfed by the phagocytic cells. Second is opsonization. That means the virus or the bacteria will be coated outside by the antibodies. Now this antibody coating cell will be engulfed or eaten by the phagocytic cell. And third one is neutralization. So whatever the toxic which are released by the virus and bacteria, the antibody neutralizes that acid or toxic. Now, let's see the structure and type of antibodies. So, antibodies are glycoproteins produced by lymphocytes, that is B lymphocytes. So, a molecule of antibody has four peptide chain, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, out of which there are two small chain, as you can see over here, which are called as light chain, and two long chains which are known as heavy chains. So they held each other by a disulfide bond. Now there are different types of antibodies, that is IgA, IgM, IgG, IgE and IgD. Now let's see what is vaccination. So the principle is property of the memory cells of the immune system. On this the vaccination is based on. So antigenic properties of pathogens or activated or weakened pathogens are introduced into the body. That is, vaccine is introduced. Now when this vaccine is introduced, antibodies are produced against this weakened pathogens. So whenever there is an actual infection, so because of the memory cells, they produces antibodies which were produced get activated and they fight against the actual infections. So the vaccine also generate memory B cells and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with a massive production of antibodies. So the technique which is used is recombinant DNA technology. So antigenic polypeptide of pathogens are produced in bacteria or yeast and then they get injected into our body. So vaccine produced during this approach allow large scale production and hence greater availability for immunizations. For example, hepatitis B vaccine has been produced. Moving on to the next topic, which is blood group. So ABO blood group and RH blood group are the two important blood groups. So ABO blood grouping is also known as blood typing. So classification of blood group is based upon presence of inherited antigenic substance on the surface of RBCs, that is red blood cells. Now different types of blood groupings are ABO, RH, Duffy, Kidd, Lewis, MNS, Bombay blood group. Now let's see ABO bases. So based on the presence or absence of antigen A and antigen B, blood is divided into four types. Now this presence of antigen on RBCs, that is red blood cells. So they are classified into four types, that is A, B, ABO and O group. So blood having antigen A belongs to A group. This blood has beta antigen in the serum. So as you can see, A having antigen A on the RBC, that is on the red blood cells, and in serum, that is in plasma, they have antibody B. Now the B will have antigen B and antibody which is present in the plasma will be antibody A. O has none. That is, it does not have antigen A and antigen B, but it has antibody A and B in the plasma. Now AB blood group has antigen both. A and B both are there, but there is no antibody present in the blood. Moving on to the Rh blood group system. So this blood group system is classified on the basis of presence or absence of antigen D. So if the antigen D is present, it is known as Rh positive, and if the antigen D is absent, it leads to Rh negative. Now there is something which is known as erythroblastosis fetalis, which is also known as hemolytic disease of the newborn baby. So this happens in a newborn baby. So what happens is the disease of fetus and a newborn child characterized by agglutination and phagocytosis of the fetus red blood cells. So in most instances of erythroblastosis fetalis, the mother is Rh negative and the father is Rh positive. The baby has inherited the Rh positive antigen from the father, and the mother develops anti-Rh agglutinins, that is antibodies from exposure to the fetus Rh antigen. So in turn, the mother's agglutinins, that is antibodies, diffuses through the placenta into the fetus and causes red blood cells agglutination. Thank you. Hope you like this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and share your views in the comment section below. The second half of this video, that is the disease part, will be continued in next video.